Hi everyone, and welcome to this episode of Dishing It Out with Dana. You're in the kitchen with Dana today, and in my kitchen, and today we're going to do something delicious. I'm Italian at heart, and I couldn't wait to start part of this series with you. So today I'm going to show you how to make my version of the Italian meatball, the classic Italian meatball. This recipe works for me. I love it. We've been making this way for years. If you decide you want to do a little different variation, that's fine. You know, depending upon where the part of Italy you come from is how you're going to make your meatballs. But for me, this will work the best. Get your pen and paper ready, get your taste buds ready too, and come right back after this. So we're starting with just a small amount of meatballs. Today I'm starting with 1 pound of ground meat. I like to use lean meat. I'm not fond of how 80% meat tastes with this particular recipe. I don't like the way 80% is. To me, it's too greasy of a meatball. You want at least 85% ground beef, or 90, 93 is fine, but you want something, at least the least you want is 85% lean, okay? You don't want to go any less than that. Okay, so we're gonna have 1 pound of ground beef in here. Now, nothing is measured out, folks. I'm sorry, I'm Italian at heart. I've been telling you that. So I'm just gonna tell you what works best for me. We're gonna have a little bit of spices that we're gonna add in here first. So to this ground meat, I'm gonna add in some salt and pepper, okay? Whatever suits your taste. You're just gonna have to play with it a little bit. I can't really give you an amount, but I can tell you that it's all going to come out delicious. You just got to do this to taste. So I've just put it in there just a little bit, maybe about, I don't know, I want to say maybe a teaspoon or so of salt and at least a teaspoon of pepper. Okay, now we're going to add some onion powder, and this is where you're going to want to do your own thing. I use onion and garlic powder. A lot of Italians will use fresh garlic. That's fine. I just don't like to bite into a piece of garlic, even minced, when I have my meatballs. Okay, so I have some onion powder here to start. I'm just going to sprinkle this on. I know that's covered, no problem. I like a lot of flavor. I'm now going to cover it with some garlic powder on top of that. So we're just going to sprinkle some of that on. Okay, a little bit heftier with the garlic powder. Now, I like to use oregano. I love to use this oregano. Very simple, very inexpensive. It smells so warm and so flavorful. I love it. It just says Italy to me. All right, so we're going to be putting some oregano in. I like to be a little bit hefty. More than some people, they just put a pinch. I'm now put in some of my oregano. Again, this is to my taste. You just have to play with it a little bit to see what you think. Let's do some crushed red pepper. I like a little heat. Okay, that's a little bit of crushed red pepper, maybe a teaspoon. And then we're going to add I'm going to add actually 1 egg, because again, it's only 1 pound of meat. If it were like 1.5, 2 pounds of meat, I'd probably add 2 eggs. So now I'm going to add some breadcrumbs. Now I'm going to measure these out for you. And this is 1/3 of a cup. Okay, so let's say about 1/3 of a cup and a little bit more. So I'm going to say about a 1/2 cup. We've got about a 1/2 cup in 1 pound of ground beef, a 1/2 cup of, these are breadcrumbs. Now they're flavored breadcrumbs. You know, folks, you can make your own. You can dry your own bread and you can season it yourself. But why do that when, for the convenience of just purchasing some flavored breadcrumbs, you're in business. Everything's just laid out for you and it's all perfect. Okay, so now I've used about a 1/2 cup of Italian flavored style breadcrumbs, whatever brand you like. Creme de la creme, kids. Okay, let's get the measuring cup again. We're probably going to use at least, this is imported Pecorino Romano cheese, and if anyone knows me, I've talked about this all the time. I don't use anything else but imported Pecorino Romano. We order this from New York actually, and they send it to us down south. I can't compromise. Any shelf-bought grated cheese just does not measure up to the pure Lucatelli imported Pecorino Romano. Pecorino really means sheep. It's just a a wonderful, delicious, Italian flavored cheese that's just pure. It's great. All right, so we have 1/3 of a cup measurement here, and I'm probably going to be adding, yep, that's probably will do it. So about 1/3 of a cup of imported Pecorino Romano cheese. Use any grated cheese you want. I just choose to use the pure cheese with no chemicals, no additives, and again, I go the extra expense and have it ordered. Okay, so we're going to put our ingredients to the side. I'm going to get in there with my hands. All right, we're just going to mix this up. You'll need a moppin for this, which is a cloth for sure, to wipe your hands and wash them. All right, so we're going to just mix this up all the way, and we're going to make these meatballs. Oh, they smell so good, folks. You can have them, if you could eat raw meat, you'd probably just eat them just the way they are. Oh, the flavors are so great. Divine. Now you can add basil to this. I grow my own basil in my garden. You can add basil if you'd like. And you can add Italian leaf parsley. I have that growing in my garden as well. You can add anything you want. But for me, this just is simple, works the best. I want to like keep that oregano flavor enhanced. I just love it. To me, that speaks Italian. All right, so I'm going to form these into small meatballs, and everything looks and smells just divine. Okay, so we're going to form these into small meatballs. Maybe just a little bit in the palm of your hand. And if you can see that in the camera. And yep, just a little bit. Maybe about, not quite the size of a 1/4 cup. And you're just going to roll that a little bit. I don't like to make them too big because I don't want to have to cook them and have them be raw, a chance to be raw in the middle. Okay, so if you could see, my thumb and my forefinger go around this meatball. If you can see that, you can see the size of the meatball. All right? That's about the size that you want, if that helps you a little bit. All right, so let's continue to make my meatballs, and we'll be right back and we'll start cooking. Okay, so we're now back, and I've taken a few of my formed meatballs, and now I'm going to show you how to cook them up, how I cook them up. I start with a little bit of imported olive oil, and I'm not going to put a whole lot in here. If I were making something like chicken cutlets or eggplant parmesan, I would use a lot more olive oil because it's really all about the olive oil and the basil, to be honest with you. My sister always says that, and she's right. So we're just going to put a little bit of olive oil in here. You want to do enough to coat the bottom, but for this time's sake, because it's just a small amount of meatballs, we're just going to put a little bit of olive oil. Let's coat the bottom a little bit. Yeah, okay. We'll coat the bottom just a little bit. All right. I've got the induction burner going. We're going to get that nice and warm. And now we're going to start cooking. Take the meatball. You want this to be hot. On these induction burners, they get hot immediately. But if you have gas stove or electric stove, just give it a couple minutes to just get really nice and piping hot before you put in these meatballs. Okay, that sounds good. I'm going to start sizzling in just a minute. And we're going to cook these babies up. And again, I don't like to make them too big, because if they are, it's just going to take too long to cook, and then they're going to cook too much on the outside but not enough quite in the inside. Okay, they're starting to sizzle already. I can smell that hot olive oil really cooking up there. I'm going to show you in a moment the size, these size meatballs, how great they cook, and how about brown they should be on each side. Okay, so we're just going to let these cook for just a minute or two, and we'll show you the colors as we go along. Okay, so we're back. We've got these delicious meatballs. I hope you can see that in the camera. I have cooked them on all the sides, nice and brown. They came out absolutely beautiful. Now you want to drain them on a paper towel. See the color? And that pretty shiny you see is the oil that they cooked in. So listen, pair these in your favorite pasta sauce with your favorite pasta, and that's what I've done here. And I've added actually a little imported Pecorino Romano grated cheese, because what is pasta and meatballs Italian style without this imported cheese? You know, this looks so heavenly. Let's just grab a little piece of meatball out of there. Wow. Listen, folks, delicious. And you know something? Pair it with your favorite vino, you've got yourself an Italian meal. Well, listen, email me at dishingitoutwithdana, dana@dishingitoutwithdana.com. Go on my website. And this is actually can be part of a low-carb series because the breadcrumbs that we use inside these meatballs are not that much. It's spread out quite over a bit of meatballs. So, listen, awesome, enjoy. Bon appetit. We'll see you next time. Email me and let me know how yours came out.